Welcome back to Eye on Rivers. Before the break, we took you on the revolutionary journey of the Rivers State Power Scheme. Here we are at the Afam Power Generation Plant, the largest of its kind in the state. Stay tuned for more power stories from Rivers State. The investment opportunities in Nigeria's power sector are immense, as the federal government is making moves to privatize the sector. In 2012, Rivers State allocated 25 billion naira towards its power sector.
Everything we have done has been done strictly from the state allocations. As you know, as government, our major objective is to provide social infrastructure and services to the people. And so we have used the resources that have been made available to us by our environment to see how we can lift our people from the shackles of poverty and darkness. I always say that the onus is on the federal government to make the power sector an investor-friendly area. You know, we run a federation that is worse than a unitary system of government, and everything is centralized in Abuja. Because of the level of control that is involved at the center, it is them who need to provide the necessary framework for investors to come into the scheme. Currently, they are making some good effort. I must give that to them. The current effort to sell off most of the federal government interest in the power sector is a step in the right direction. The adjustment in tariff is a step in the right direction. Additionally, they have to provide security so that those who want to put their money in this business will be sure of how to get their money out.
The state government has entered into a contract with Sunder Electrical, the French power company, to supply all the materials that are required to stabilize power supply in Port Harcourt, the state capital, as well as giving out contracts to build substations that will reduce the length of power lines that sometimes stretch as far as 40 or 50 kilometers. The Rivers State Power Scheme is managed by the Rivers State Government Power Development Committee.
Our support for the power development in Rivers State as a company has to do with the injection of people into the committee to help manage the project. We are essentially project managers and technical supervisors for this project, so we bring in our expertise into this to make it work. In the areas of electrical engineering and project management, like I said, it's a lot of contracts, 28 substations in such a short time. It's got to be carefully managed to achieve the right quality and also give us the reliability. There's an interface that has to be managed between the state government, between PHCN, who are the operators of the system now. So that bit has to be taken carefully to ensure we achieve the standards and in the record time that is expected. Well, common challenges with project management you will have in an environment like this. Don't forget that this is not totally greenfield. Some you have to retrofit, some will have to upgrade, and you want to do it in a way that the outages are minimized. Okay, there's also the issue of capacity on the part of the contractors. You have to manage them. These are wholly indigenous contractors, so you have to really manage them and guide them through it. So I would say the common challenges with project management, and also the weather we are in now. It's been raining heavily, and there's a lot of civil works yet to be done, so we are limited in that respect as well. But we've achieved a decent amount of completion now. For the 28 substations, we should be completing before the end of the year, really. That's an optimistic record, but we are set to do that.
The ultimate aim of the Rivers State Power Agenda is to positively impact the lives of the state's people. To find out just how much of a revolution is taking place, we met with some indigents of Port Harcourt, where the first phase of the power schemes are being felt. There were concerns that the cost of paying for electricity would be an added burden to those in more rural areas instead of a saving. Emmanuel Yaji has lived in Port Harcourt for 29 years. He first bought his family home in Transamadi 4 years ago on the onset of Governor Amechi's term in office, and says the improvements of the power situation are tangible.
When I came in here, the challenge was that we needed to acquire noiseless generators. And for a house like this, we needed something from 27 kVA to about 30 kVA. And we did acquire it. But over the years, there has been a drastic improvement in power supply. As a matter of fact, we've not been using the generator again. If for a month I buy like 50 liters of diesel, it stays throughout. I even called the servicing engineer and asked him to come and service. After about 6 months, he has not been here for about 6 months. So I remembered and called him to come and service the generator. And he said the number of hours it requires for use before it is serviced, it has not achieved. So you can imagine for good 6 months, we've not serviced it. Before now, if the power went off, my experience here was if you could be patient, because in many parts of Port Harcourt then, if power went off, you run out for your generator and that. But my experience here was you just needed to be patient. Within the next 30 minutes, you were going to expect power again. But for now, it's difficult. It's really difficult to say on so day there was no power supply. So the savings is so much. I can't remember when last I bought diesel for this generator. I cannot remember. So we can't even compare. We can't talk about savings. It's so much. It's so much. Because to run a 30 kVA generator, if you live in an area that there's a challenge on power supply, running a 30 kVA generator is very substantial in cost. But if I tell you that I can't remember when I last fueled it, that is to tell you that the challenge of power supply in this area is not there.
Local business owners are also noting the change.
I'm very happy now. I have a lot of save now. Before, I spent more than 16,000 naira monthly. Yeah. But now I'm very happy now because there's constant now.
The feedback I get from the streets of Port Harcourt and environ is wonderful, very wonderful. If it is just the savings and the acquisition of hydrocarbons to run private generators, it's a lot. Somebody told me his consumption of diesel has gone down by 80%. And if there's nothing to do with the money, it will be saving his account. But of course, there's a lot he can do with the money. He can pay his children's school fees with the extra money he's saving. He can begin to invest more on his enjoyment and better life, as it were. There is a lot of savings going on currently in the environment. Those who are also doing business are doing business better. As a small-time businessman before I joined government and politics, I started a small outfit around Romola area of Port Harcourt, and my generator was stolen. And that was the end of the business. I never had enough money to buy another one. And even if I had, the issue of fueling was not easy. So with the power revolution going on in the States, you can be sure that businesses will do better. They will have more funds available to them. They will be able to do their business more efficiently, and that could even bring down their cost of doing business. At the end of the day, everybody is better for it. The fact is that as modern man needs oxygen, or as human being needs oxygen, that is how modern man needs power. It runs everything. You have water, you have cooking, you have comfort, just name it. It's power-based. So getting power right is like solving 70% of the problem we have in our society. You know, if you calculate what you use to provide kerosene to light your hurricane lamps, as inefficient and ineffective as it is, what you use to warm your food every now and then because you cannot refrigerate it, what it costs you to buy candles, and all that goes on with the things they do, you find that the cost of power provided the way we are providing it is far less and cheaper than what their cost of energy is, ab initio. So the reception has been wonderful.
The River State Power Revolution is well underway, with citizens already feeling the effects. In October, winners of bids for government assets in the power sector will be announced. River State Afam Power Plant is one of 6 plants included in this bid, and all eyes are now on the October deadline as the nation awaits the sale of 11 distribution and 6 power generation companies. Thank you for watching Eye on Rivers. We hope that you enjoyed today's show. Should you have any comments, questions or queries about the program, don't hesitate to contact us on our Facebook page, Eye on Rivers, or on our website, www.abndigital.com. Until next month, I'm Keisha Gitari and you've been watching Eye on Rivers.